Street Fighter 6, we need to talk. The game has officially been out for 3 years. I know, it's hard to believe, but it's true. And unfortunately, it's pretty much the same. Not much has changed in those 3 years. Same mechanics, same drive rush issues, same throw loops 3 years later, and the only notable change is the high-low perfect parry change. And unfortunately, there's not much new content in the game. The big focus ever since the start of the game was the fighting pass and the avatars and the battle hub. Now, I'm not saying the battle hub is a bad addition. Trust me, I really did enjoy playing it, especially in the beta. But there's more to Street Fighter than the avatars, and I'm sure most people who want to play Street Fighter care about the actual characters. And before we continue, subscribe if you want throw loops removed. I warned you. We really need to keep this in mind, and I just want to give you a reminder of how things went during Street Fighter V. Now, when Street Fighter V came out, we all know that was a terrible launch in terms of content, but they actually ended up correcting its course, except for, of course, the netcode. But there was a good release of characters, 6 characters every season, lots of outfits. They added a full story mode, which has its flaws. I'm not saying it's a good story mode, but it was an actual attempt at story mode, unlike World Tour, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Street Fighter V Arcade Edition came out 2 years after the original. It had 29 characters, and not only it added characters, but it added a full new extra mechanic, V-Trigger 2. And now you have a choice between V-Trigger 1 and 2 for different matchups, and every single character has that. And that was only 2 years after the game came out. Lots of new things were coming out. I would say that Street Fighter 6 is lacking that, and I know that you might argue that Street Fighter 6 is a more complete game, therefore it doesn't need that much changes. But when you factor in a game that is as successful as Street Fighter 6, it doesn't make any sense for the developers to just be neglecting it. I know that developers are kind of scared to encounter what happened with Tekken 8 when they did a lot of balance changes and destroyed the game and everyone started hating it. I'm not saying doing something super dramatic. I'm saying that the game just needs a lot of love and a lot of attention. And all that's been thrown out was, hey, look, there's a new challenger screen that some people made, the fans made, not us. Hey guys, look, it's a new fighting pass with a bunch of crappy looking avatars. You should spend some fighter coins on those. In my opinion, this shouldn't have been what Street Fighter 6 could have been. Now, Street Fighter 6 in 2 years in comparison had 26 characters, not 29. Not that big of a difference, but it had less content, less outfits, no mechanic additions. And that's very disappointing. Street Fighter 5 started slow, then it completely changed its course, and I think it became a very good game at the end. And that's what Street Fighter 6 should strive to be. Now, when Ingrid came out, everyone was looking forward and excited to seeing a balance change. And guess what? No balance change took place. Now hold your horses a little bit, because a balance change is coming with Yasmin. She was announced, and with her trailer and with a blog, it was announced that Street Fighter 6 is going to have a balance patch in August, which everyone's actually looking forward to, because this is probably going to be the biggest patch we're going to have in a very long time. It's the yearly update for the game. They mentioned that they're working on it ever since the Ingrid release. They mentioned that they're working on the balance patch. Please stay patient, and we wonder what's going to be in this new patch. I really hope that they have sick changes, but honestly, after all what's been going on with the game, it's really, really hard to be positive. As much as I'm being, you might say, negative about the game, I'm honestly trying to give as much constructive criticism to the game. If you love something so much, you gotta give it some tough love. And I feel like people have been overglazing this game. Even though the game itself, I truly do enjoy. There's a lot of good aspects about the game, but also, you can't just keep defending every single decision, every single thing that happens with the game, because there's a lot of flaws and they're very obvious. Oh, but wait, but Street Fighter 6 is like the only good fighting game right now, and therefore they don't have to do that much. Lord Capcom can do whatever they want because the Japanese audience is satisfied. This should not be the mentality, guys. And with the Ingrid announcement, along with saying that the balance patch is not coming, they also said that World Tour is ending. The last World Tour character will be Ingrid. Therefore, the Year 4 characters won't have an expansion to World Tour. And I will say that I don't really care about World Tour. and I don't think it's really that good. I think it's an attempt at a single player game, but the issue with World Tour for me is that there's a lot of unexplored stuff in the Street Fighter universe that should have been addressed, should have been uncovered for many characters. I expected that the story behind Ken and what happened to Ken was going to be explored. The story is going to evolve past Street Fighter 3, but all there is just like, it's a silly game mode where you talk to your master for 3 seconds, hit boxes, and I get that part of the game is the silly aspect, having it not be so serious, but I'm just saying that why not have a full story mode of an involvement of the game, that like something like Mortal Kombat or Tekken does. That's like probably the only thing that Mortal Kombat 1 did decently. I'm not a Mortal Kombat player myself, but I know what they do well. I think most people are fans of the way the stories go in Mortal Kombat, and I think Tekken 8 and Tekken 7 did a good job for that matter as well. So why not Street Fighter as well? You see, I'm a person who usually doesn't talk about this stuff because my focus is usually like ranked matches or competitive play, but still the biggest audience for the game is the casual audience, and if we're gonna neglect such basic things as just, I feel like the arcade mode is just a super lazy thing that just exists because it did many years ago. And I'm not saying that there shouldn't be an arcade mode, but there should be a proper story mode that's just not like, okay, let's fight these couple bots, and then after we finish, let's put like a little bit of text and drawings, and whoop, there's your story. This is the entire story you're gonna get for the next 10 years, because spoiler alert, Street Fighter 6 might last 10 years from its release date. Heard that right. 2023, Street Fighter 6 came out, and we might still be playing Street Fighter 6 in 2033. I know it's crazy, but in a developer interview, I do believe it was with IGN, they discussed their vision for Street Fighter 6 and what they want for Street Fighter 6. And from the start, from the day they started making Street Fighter 6, they said that they wanted to make this game last for a very long time, and they were thinking, I guess, to make the game as a service, make it last for 10 years. But 10 years with this slow of a roll of content and stuff happening with the game, I would not play this game for 10 years. If you want to play it, sure, be my guest, but 10 years of the same thing, no changes, barely, come on. 10 years of the best game in the world is not fun. You have to try to keep the game fresh, keep things different. These minor balance changes and very slow roll of content and stupid avatar slop and fighting passes and whatever, this is what the game is going to last 10 years for? God, I am not hopeful for the future. Ingrid being the final World Tour character is not a good sign that they're ending World Tour. As much as I don't like World Tour, it's still removing things from the casual audience. With all the flaws of the Street Fighter V story, at least it was an actual attempt at a proper story mode, and I think that Capcom should have done a full iteration of a story mode that updates us on the state of the characters, not just silly, barely any information on any character. I think that's a big part of fighting games, and I think the lore of Street Fighter needs to continue and be more interesting, and we stop sticking to the past. We need to leave the past. Street Fighter 2 is a very long time ago, and I think the game needs to move on from that. The marketing from Street Fighter 2, we're in the modern era right now, and I heard that the new audience is mostly younger people. That's what the developers said, and that's why they actually said that for the characters that they're releasing, they're doing new characters, because I guess the new gens are gonna love new characters. Now let's talk about year 4. So for the year 4 announcement, I know it's very controversial what the characters that have been announced. There's a lot of discourse on why are they all new characters. A lot of these characters look generic or uninteresting, and I totally understand the sentiment for sure, and I think that there definitely should be new characters in the game, but there also has to be some returning ones. If it's just gonna be 4 characters a year, it can't be all new ones. At least they have to make it like 6 characters and then mix up the number with how many new and returning characters. They have to try to please everybody. Of course, you can't please everyone, but I'm saying you gotta make an effort somehow, because a lot of players really wonder how their favorite characters would be in Street Fighter 6, and I think that's not a unfair way to think. I think many people deserve to try their favorite characters in Street Fighter 6, but of course you can't do that for everyone. At least try to make a bigger effort to make things release in a nice way, not keep the game stale. In case you don't know, year 4, the character pass is $30 and the ultimate pass is $46. And here's the big problem. Street Fighter 6 didn't release much new stages after the release, only a few ones here and there. Street Fighter 5 did a much better job with that, especially during holiday seasons where they updated some stages or changed the lighting of a stage. For example, there's like a night mode of a stage or a day mode. I think that's some pretty cool stuff. None of that is happening in Street Fighter 6. I think the game needs to be refreshed some way. And speaking of the stages, guys, in the year 4 Ultimate Pass, in the description, this is the first time that an Ultimate Pass won't have stages. Does that mean that they're not working on the stages altogether, or does that mean they're just not including it in the pass? That's really interesting. I wonder what they're doing, but I think that that's not a good sign. Them ending World Tour, them not including stages, it means I feel like they're slowing their roll for Street Fighter 6. It means like they're not trying to develop that much for Street Fighter 6. Because it's gonna last for 10 years apparently, I guess overall it might have a good amount of characters at the end, but the overall release of content is like super slow and it's super boring. It's like, what's your motivation to play this game? As someone that wants to have fun, I think the game doesn't have that much to do to have fun. I'll give you an example. So for year 4, I know a lot of people have been disappointed about the characters that have come out. But for me, I just play Ryu, right? I don't really care about many new characters that come out, but I just want it for the people. I think it's for the greater good of the FGC to have lots of new content. That's not a wrong thing to have. For me, the only characters I'll probably like venture to try is like Evil Ryu. It's probably not coming out. Maybe I can test Balrog or Dudley, something like that. But or maybe Gouken, for example. These are some characters that I'm interested in. I'm not saying like it's a big deal if they're not going to be in the game. I don't really care that much, but I just think that there should be something done. There should be something different happening for Street Fighter 6. I don't know what's going on with the development team, the vision they have, how many developers do they have, how many projects are they working on. No matter what it is, there's no excuse for how the game has been treated. I enjoy the game. I've said this many times. I do enjoy the gameplay. I think there are many good things about the game. I was very excited about the game when it came out. But I can't be excited if it's just going to be the same thing over and over. Honestly, I'm not really expecting anything special with the balance patch coming out with Yasmin. Usually, I try to be hopeful about the balance patches. Maybe they'll change some good things, maybe. But honestly, it's been 3 years. The game's pretty much the same. Lots of empty promises from Capcom. They've been promising to speed up the content in the game. They've been promising to focus less on the avatars and do actual things for the game. And Outfit 4 still didn't come out, and they're like, oh, we're hard at work, please, guys. We're really hard at work. Yeah, talk is cheap. It really is. And actions do speak louder than words. And so far, it's been proven right. Like I said, 10 years with this level of content is crazy. I can't imagine playing the same game 10 years and doing throw loops and drive rush and whatever. And with the 0 content changes and the outfits and the stages, I think it's crazy. But honestly, if they do change things up, and I'm saying this as a positive thing, of course I'd love to play the game for 10 years. If it's just going to be a constantly evolving game, I'm honestly not expecting anything crazy. Obviously, I'm not saying they should change the entire mechanics. I'm just saying they should just refine the game, add fun things for the casual audience for the game. Other than the avatar ranked matches that they added, this is a good idea, but I feel like it's pretty late, and also focus should be on the actual characters coming out, not just the avatars. Anyways, I hope you guys feel the same way, and if you don't, let me know your opinion in the comments, and if you do, make sure to do that as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. What do you think is going to happen to Street Fighter 6? What do you think of the current characters, the year 4 announcement, the balance patch, all of it? I need to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think is going to happen in the next 10 years? Not really 10 years, the next 7 years of Street Fighter 6. Is it going to be different? Is it going to be the same? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give the video a like and subscribe. I really appreciate your support, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.